Have you ever looked at an old abandoned place and wondered how life could ever return to it? Imagine a town completely destroyed, lifeless and empty, with no sign of hope. Now, think about this. How does Allah bring life back to what is dead? Today I'm going to share with you an incredible story from the Quran about Prophet Uzair, peace be upon him. A story that shows Allah's unlimited power and reminds us of the reality of resurrection. Stay with me, because this story is not just about the past. It's filled with lessons for our lives today. Prophet Uzair, peace be upon him, was a righteous man and a prophet sent by Allah to the children of Israel. He was known for his deep knowledge of the Torah and his devotion to Allah. During his time, many people had lost the true teachings of the Torah and the faith had weakened. Uzair, peace be upon him, was saddened by this and dedicated himself to reminding his people about the importance of worshiping Allah alone and following his guidance. His story is a powerful example of faith and belief in Allah's incredible power to bring life to what seems lost or impossible. One day, Prophet Uzair, peace be upon him, was traveling through a desolate land when he came across a town that had been destroyed. The buildings were in ruins, the streets were empty, and there was no sign of life. As he stood there, he began to wonder, how will Allah bring this town back to life after all this destruction? It wasn't that Prophet Uzair, peace be upon him, doubted Allah's power, but he was curious to see how it could happen. Allah responded to his thoughts in a way that no one could have imagined. Allah caused Uzair, peace be upon him, to fall into a deep sleep, not for a few hours, not for a few days, but for 100 years. His body was untouched, and everything around him remained as it was. After a century, Allah woke him up and asked, "How long have you been here?" Uzair, peace be upon him, replied, "Maybe a day, or part of a day." But Allah said, "You have been here for 100 years. Look at your food and drink, they have not changed. Now, look at your donkey." As Uzair, peace be upon him, looked, Allah showed him how even the bones of his donkey, which had decayed, would come back together and be covered with flesh, bringing the animal back to life. Uzair, peace be upon him, watched in amazement as his donkey was restored before his very eyes. This miracle wasn't just about bringing a donkey back to life. It was a powerful demonstration from Allah, showing that just as he could bring this donkey to life, he could also bring back the dead on the day of judgment. The first lesson is about the limitless power of Allah. If Allah can bring a town back to life after it has been destroyed, and can resurrect a donkey from its bones, then there is nothing too difficult for Allah. This reminds us to never doubt Allah's ability to handle our problems, no matter how impossible they may seem. Prophet Uzair's, peace be upon him, experience with death and resurrection shows us that life after death is real. Just as Allah brought Uzair, peace be upon him, back to life after 100 years, He will bring all of us back to life on the day of judgment. We must always remember that this world is temporary and the life of the hereafter is eternal. Prophet Uzair, peace be upon him, had faith in Allah's wisdom, even when he couldn't fully understand the situation. His story teaches us to trust Allah's plan for us, even when we don't understand why things happen the way they do. Allah's plan is always better for us than what we might think. When Uzair, peace be upon him, saw the miraculous resurrection of his donkey and the restoration of life, he didn't boast. Instead, he praised Allah and reflected on the greatness of His power. This reminds us that when we experience blessings, we should stay humble and always thank Allah for His mercy and power. Even though Prophet Uzair, peace be upon him, had questions about how Allah could bring life to what was dead, he never lost faith. His story teaches us that it's okay to have questions, but we should always keep our faith strong and trust that Allah knows what's best for us. This story encourages us to strengthen our faith, trust in Allah's power, and remain patient, knowing that Allah has control over all things. The story of Prophet Uzair, peace be upon him, is a powerful reminder of Allah's infinite power and mercy. It shows us that no matter how hopeless a situation may seem, Allah can bring life to the dead, revive our spirits and restore hope. Just as Uzair, peace be upon him, witnessed the miracle of resurrection, we are reminded that on the Day of Judgment, Allah will bring us back to life and He will judge us for our deeds. Let this story strengthen our faith in Allah's abilities and remind us to always trust in His wisdom and power. No matter what challenges you're facing today, remember that Allah has control over everything, and He is always able to change your situation for the better. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that others can also benefit from these lessons of faith. Let's spread this message of hope and trust in Allah to as many people as we can. Thank you for watching, and until next time,